Good evening, everyone. Sergeant of the Manager, Bronx. I'm in this meeting by reading our code from Community Board 7 has the right to relieve board member of the meeting. It's for engagement in inappropriate member of each meeting, but not limited to being threatening to harassing slander, threat, providing personal attacks of any kind, or offensive and inflammatory comments on the basis of ethnicity, race, age, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and/or disability. Members of the public who engage in any other behaviors that recently include the only administration of the meeting while at a board meeting shall be removed from the board meeting in suspicion of the chair or a chair in the I will now go on. Before we move on to a public hearing, I would like to acknowledge that our NYPD 52nd precinct is not going to be here, but they have asked that I give you a couple of updates. They have canceled their holiday flow due to personal recent weather issues, but now as we know, the water main that the first on Washington Parkway. And on page 4 of your reading packet are statistics for from December 9th through December 15th. Any questions you have in regards to this statistics can be directed to the 52nd precinct at their monthly community council meeting on Thursday, December 19th at the same location. Their meeting starts at 6 p.m. And then we'll be meeting. Another update I have to you is, before we move on, as you know, last night I posted, you caused a lot of flooding and I call it mud slide, but there's a lot of mud on the streets, a lot of water. It caused a lot of damage on Webster Avenue from Washington Parkway over to Bedford Park. There are a lot of agencies on scene addressing the issues, moving the mud, and doing a lot of efforts to make sure that things return back to normal. If you know anybody that lives in the area, 13 of the buildings are now without gas. And there are a couple of buildings without one. Anybody can file a claim with the controller's office, and we have created a QR code that's at the table. So if you know anyone, I know the Department of Environmental Protection was on today, giving the link to anybody that you can come across. We also have the link here. So as messengers in the community, we ask that you please share this link with anybody that you know that lives in the area. And with that, I will move on public hearing by calling every executive member, Leslie Harrison.
That's up first.
And we have a microphone on either end. By Great. Sandra.
To let you know that the service for the Bronx Letters program, which is it's a service boutique that offers new community Japanese clothing kind of stuff with for cancer patients and survivors. They also offer their insurances. Someone who started speaking to Bold Buddy, which is a person who is cancer survivor. So if you are looking to either donate or maybe want to start education individuals and they're also volunteers, especially Spanish speaking seniors, to come if anybody has any time to help at a help out that with the boutique as well. This is part of entrepreneur, and King Security. I think you'll something.
Thank you, Leslie. Next we have Sandra Erickson. I believe you're gonna have to go the night. I think we have to get a mic. Thank you.
Standards. 7-year member. We're 7. I just want to point out an article that was in yesterday's paper. My 90-year-old mother pointed it out to me. 6 and stone, Windows Law Archive Bronx Library, Westwich Library. It is Kingsbridge. There's a needle swamp outside. They're finding needles and shooting out and people are worried about, kids seeing it, thinking the guests want to be there. And I just want to thank our council member for moving this on this exchange program and writing a letter to the health department saying its constituents are frustrated and outraged by it. And many CD7 residents have shared their outrage about it, and we are proposing to talk about it. But really, we have to continue things like this because Ward 7 is really getting hit with a lot of things that you don't want. I mean, we are saturated with transient housing or things like affordable housing we love, but housing that is not rent stabilized and it's not permanent, and you need to speak out such as this board is doing on a housing committee and things that we.
I think you might have to turn up the volume on the mic.
Yeah, if you bring closer to your mouth, does that sound better? Right. I would like to say that the housing plan has been moved from location to location. At first they were right to PSP 46. PSP 46 plays a lot of complaints about spring jitters and a lot of other complaints, and so now it has moved right in front of the library. So we have council members at least who's advocating for the ban to move to a different location. I would say, please encourage everyone to reach out to their elected officials, where they create policy around harm reduction. And as much as, harm reduction has to be looked also from a public safety perspective, not only a public health perspective. And these are discussions that our elected officials could have. So please continue to raise your complaints to them. It's definitely not an ideal situation. And we'll be in touch. Okay. Next, we have Ronnie Colangelo. Up for the middle, right or high? Sorry, the middle is locked. Closer.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, so having the sheet works society and on one. Putting in, the driving maybe reports. But one at a time, and you can place to go. They don't you try serve their time or try to do. They think about the whole gang, sex offenders, armed robbers, so whoever got what they gotta get. And of course, the Fortune Society won't say anything because Chinese business, they don't want you to know. Because it makes them look bad, and if they get somebody in there that does commit a crime, we'll never hear them talk about recidivism, many of their facilities. Because it's one of it. So, my name is on this flyer, and also have President of the organization, Facebook page, if you want to, that's through. Make your flyers to hand out, so to rally, make flyers, for beverage line, you have your ground. Make some bottles, make some bottles. Free, so free, not charging anything, but you have to play with us. Because what's that say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the Fortune Society is your enemy, I don't care. And I'm also a member of, Priscilla Law, the 606, I'm trying to get these issues to write the recyclables. I went to the hearing the other day, they put up pictures, the saddest stuff you could ever see. All the people who are coming from the horse stores. Well, the Priscilla is about a lady that fortunately life.
I'm sorry, your time is up, you feel like that, but that's okay. Yeah, I know everything's so gentle today, right? The sound is super gentle.
Question, speaking of the Fortune Society, did we have a date on English?
There is no update. Last heard is that the project is stopped. I have reached out to Monty, to the mayor's office of criminal justice, just so they can send in writing an update, but we haven't received an update in writing. So we did hear from Councilmember Feliz at last month's meeting that the project right now is on hold. But that was just told to him verbally through a phone. So we would like something in writing. Madam Chair, I approve your call.
Hi, everybody hear me? We heard you.
You heard me. Very good.
Okay. To tonight's general board meeting, we're gonna start, our meeting, that will start at page number 2 of your packet. And we will start it off with the district manager's updates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me direct people to end the conversation around public road use. On page 5 of your meeting packet, there are instructions on how you can report public road use. Remember, all city agencies. Talking to everyone, I'm coming down with something. Or recovering from something, I don't even know at this point. But there's 311 is the platform that all city agencies are looking to create policy. They're looking at what's happening at the neighborhood level in all communities. So it's always great to place a complaint through the platform. You can always elevate those 311 numbers to your elected official's office, to your community board's office. And that way we can elevate them internally. But it's always, please, I recommend that you continue to place 311 complaints. If you see that there is active public drug use, you can always call 911. So if you know that there are sales happening in a certain location, that's a 911. My other update, if you hold on one moment. It's in regards to one of our colleagues, Christiana Robles, who embarked on doing her internship, home services internship at the community board for about 13 weeks. So during that time, she will be doing a lot of her title work, and we look forward to seeing that work, and hopefully she will have a little report for us at the end of her experience. And after that report, the water main, like I said, the QR code is in the front. Please encourage your neighbors to file complaints. I saw a lot of videos, a lot of cars were damaged, a lot of people's homes were damaged, businesses. So please encourage people to place bill on the. Our office is open, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We are located at 229-A East 204 Street, Bronx, New York, 10458. Our office phone number is 718-533-5650. And We are there, we're always available via text, via call and email away. If we don't respond right away, a week has gone by, feel free to email us all back and say, I'm just bumping this up. That's all you have to say. It brings you back to the top of our inbox. We do receive a lot of emails on a daily basis. So I please follow up. And that is my update.
Thank you, Carla. Moving on to the chair versus room. I have a few bullet points to go over, as you know, the council has the city of yes initiative, so we're gonna be seeing, a lot of lawsuits coming into that, which internally we believe that we won't have any good results as to where this is gonna go until maybe June of 2025. As we know, a lot of people, as soon as it's passed, will submit for it, and we'll see the outcome of that, and usually that can take, at least 6 months. The next thing is congestion pricing, going into effect, January 5th, 2025. So be on the lookout for those kind of things that are happening. We believe that we're gonna have an influx of people driving into our district, parking their cars, people taking public transportation down. So we're gonna see a lot of those things happening. Keep your eye open, 311, like Phyllis said, is every agency's best friend now, it's a little database. So if you see something in your area, or you see it for influx, please report it to 311 and let the office know so that we can give it follow. The next thing is also, there's a bill at the council level to have scooters registered, licensed, and insured. You don't know how far that bill is right now, but I do expect that maybe some of the elected officials will come to our office, will come to our meetings in our office in January and give us a better indication as to where that bill stands. Next, we had our wonderful tree lighting last Thursday. It was freezing cold, but we had one of the best times. Thank you for all the board members who came out and gave out candy with the kids. We had cider, we had chocolate. It was a nice little event that we put on every year, and we're looking forward to that. In May, our Victory Memorial statue turns 100 years old, actually in November. We are going to be reaching out to the elected officials come January to host the centennial celebration in May. That way it gives a lot of people to come out, make this a great celebration in our neighborhood. In housekeeping stuff, Andrew Leosa has gladly accepted to become the chair an ad hoc committee that I am setting up for January. And this is to go the possibility of consolidating committees. This way, we have committees that actually correlate with each other, that seem to be with each other. So we're gonna be looking at our bylaws, see how we can put this together, and we'll have more and more of that come January. Last but not least, I want to wish everybody a happy holidays, a happy new year, and stay safe. Okay, that is my report. Moving on, we're short Terry Martin today. She is sick, so I will be taking off my chair hat and put it back on my secretary hat, which I think I never let go. And I will be taking the roll call. So, second. Rita Costa, Sasha Andrews, Betty Arsenic, Jahira is present, Michelle Avila, Toby Buford, Andrew Shahuri, Jasmine Flavastine, Kamali Cordy, Sandra Erickson, Joanna Jackson, Umford Grant, Lo Green, Leslie Harrison, present. Nelson absent. Jean Hill, present. Khadija Corley, present. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name. Oh, yeah. Andrew Leosa,
Present.
Stephen Bogart LeBeau,
Present.
Rosalie Leslie, present. Jesus Lopez Jensen,
Present.
Marcus McLarty, Kayla Marusu, Diana Peña, Edgar Ramos,
Present.
Janelle Robinson, Robin Roland,
Present.
Esmes Latour Lowe, Mama Tusarone, Barbara Strasser, Gwen Thomas Steve, Yulei Calandura,
Present.
Adeline Walker Santiago, Jake Wilson, Bernard Wright. We do have a quorum. Moving on. We have our minutes in our packet. Take a moment to take a look them over. Any corrections, let us know, so our secretary and our group staff can make it all changes. Give it about a minute to take a look at everything. Page 9, and it's page 9, we're 317. Page 7. Sorry. Correction, pages 7 to 17.
Let's have the minutes if there are any corrections or changes and why you have.
Any changes? Corrections?
Yeah.
When? I did. Okay, if there's no corrections, it's okay. Are you a board member or the public? Once we're done with board business, we have. Okay, so we're moving on to, motion previous minutes. Debbie Acosta, Tasha Andrews, Betty Arson, acceptance. Shahira accepts, Michelle Avila,
First minute.
Toby Buford,
Accept.
Andrew Shepherd is not here, Jasmine Feinstein, Kimali Cordy, Sandra Erickson,
Accept.
Ronna Joseph, not here, Alfred Grant,
Accept.
Lowell Green, approved, Leslie Harrison, Jean Hill, Khadija Kola,
Approved.
Andrew Leosa,
Report the motion.
Stephen Bogart, Rosa B. Leslie, Jesus Lopez Jensen,
Approved.
Marcus Ricardo is not here, Kayla Rusu, Diana Peña, Edgar Ramos, Jenna Robinson, Robin Roland, Esme Saturlo, Mama Giselle Barbara Stronser, Gwendolyn Thomas E. Yuleka Ventura,
Approved.
De Santiago, Jane Wilson, Bernard Wright. Motion passes. Moving on. Next part, we have a motion being presented by the Budget, Personnel and Ethics. Jean? Page 21.
This motion is an attendance file with violation letter notification. Can you hear me back there? Okay, so this came from the Budget, Personnel and Ethics Committee. So we are sending letters out to board members who have this good portion of meetings. I won't go into the whole breakdown of meetings that were missed. And just to preface this is more or less a heads up to say to board members, we just need to know what's going on, or you having a problem. It could be personal, it could be job related, it could be any number of things. So this is not saying that we are asking not to be board members, we just need to know what's going on, that's it. So to these board members, a letter will go out with Thomas C., Janelle Robinson, Lowell Green, Stephen Bogart LeBeau, Michelle Aguilar, Jasmine Pava Quinn, and Kayla Owosu. I hope I pronounced those names correctly. So those board members will get a letter. They have 20 days to respond, to send back letters of, what is happening with their situation to the, budget personnel, to the chair, and to the district manager. And then there, in the packet, there's a whole breakdown of how many meetings they
have missed. And then, the motion was passed to the executive committee, and now it has to be approved by the board.
Okay, any questions, any discussions?
Anybody have any questions on that? Thank you.
Who's second the motion? Second, Michelle second the motion, so we're gonna take a vote. Okay. I'm gonna go to Betty Arce. Approve the motion. Jahir Harris approves, Michelle Avila. Toby Buford. Kamali Cordy. Sandra Erickson. Arthur Grant. Lowell Green. I can't vote. Leslie Harrison.
I'm sorry, yes. So sorry.
Jean Hill.
You can vote.
You can no, you can go.
I can vote.
Yeah, you can always station and go.
It doesn't matter, I've been mentioned in the letters too, so.
Okay, then I have to work that.
Jean Hill.
Jean Hill. Well,
Approved.
Roger Williamson.
What's motion?
Stephen Vogel, LeBeau.
I do not think that there should be the distinction between students and, currently the only one, but you can't make any distinction between students or non-student athletes. I understand that, there used to be a distinction years ago on some waiver, on what we did, but that was taken up again.
Noted. Rosalie Leslie. Crystal Lopez Jensen.
Brooks.
Karina Peña. Edgar Ramos. Janelle Robinson. Robert Roland. Edmund Santorlo. Robert Strasser. Gwendolyn Thomas Deed. Judith Canatura.
Approved.
Sorry, Vega. I don't know working here, Jake Wilson, treasurer, no. Okay, motion passes with one no in the notation. So, take one more time here, vote.
Okay, I go.
Thank you.
So we're making that numbers,
1 second,
the vote number.
as soon as I can count.
Sorry.
You jump the gun. As the chair is the boss. You would like to change my vote?
Yeah, I don't approve.
So you make one no. Okay, we have 2 no's. 2 abstentions. Nineteen yeses. Motion carries.
Just like as a point of information, if board members want a change in the bylaw, there is a method and procedure in the bylaws for that. So if the majority of people feel that they prefer having different systems, we have that capable.
And how do you? And how would you do that? Is that where we ask to have a motion to look into that?
We are setting up an ad hoc bylaws committee, which was only supposed to do, what we internally spoke about was the biggest issue with attendance, so we were looking at the possibility of consolidating committees. However, we can take a look at, attendance and absence and excuses. We've done this before, and we've all come to the consensus that the excused absences was a bigger deal than what it used to be. And we took it it was voted on by board and approved by board. So if that is a point of contention, stuff, we can circle back and take those steps and bring it back to the membership to see if that's something that whatever we come across, decide, we'll need to see if that fits the memberships and see if you guys agree to it.
So, under that,
Yes, sir. Can we somehow make it agree, but what is the board's policy on canceling meetings?
Well, this is one of the reasons why we're,
Yeah, I mean, and I'm thinking like, do we have a bad weather policy?
I don't believe we do, but these are the things we have, we're going to be.
Right, but
One of the other things that have come across, and we've talked about other boards, have had remote meetings, however, not conduct motions and things like in certain board business because of the public,
Open meeting.
the open meeting, well, thank you. I do, so my brain is just coming down. The open meeting law expired, so we don't have the motion, because some boards are having virtual meetings to make sure they have, people still engaged, but not conducting board business itself. So we're gonna look at those possibilities to see how we can come across if we have to cancel a meeting, and maybe we should go and have it remotely versus cancel it completely. We're gonna take a look at those options. That's why we're discussing having an ad hoc filing when they come back.
and mine is weather closing.
Yes.
Yeah, so to your point, Lolo, it's up to the chair of each committee to decide. So usually the chair of each committee will do a roll call to their committee members and say, it's going to snow 10 inches tomorrow. Should we still meet? If the chair decides, and right now, Christiana Robles has taken on that task to do roll calls every morning. I'm pretty sure you all got a phone call from her this morning. So she calls, usually the chair of the committee will do this. And if that chair determines that they won't be meeting any quorum in that evening, they can quickly reach out to the office and say, Carla, I won't meet any quorum tonight. I would like to cancel it. And it's that simple. We send a notice to the public to say this meeting has been canceled.
That doesn't count towards your attendance.
It doesn't come towards your attendance, but if we do have to keep a record on the calendar in our website that the meeting was canceled. So that stays there to say like, so on a monthly basis, which is the case that a member of the public brought up last month, that sometimes we cancel our last meeting. But it's just that there was no quorum to be met during that evening. There was just not.
And in turn, this is why the discussion started to happen internally between Carla and I and staff of creating the ad hoc bylaws committee to take all that data to consideration and figure out maybe some of these committees need to be co-joined and to meet more. So that's why this is happening in January. Edgar?
Just from my experience with the board is whenever they have, either the city makes a emergency, whether it's school closures, or they make any type of announcements, anytime we've had meetings on nights where there's been emergency, conditions, we've always canceled the meetings, because it doesn't make sense. We don't want to have people get stuck, we want people getting hurt. So anytime, if there's a public announcement where, bridges are getting closed down and, different reasons for weather, we've always adopted whatever the city suggests. If the city's closed, we're closed. So we don't want anyone getting hurt or anyone going to the meeting and not being able to get home from the meeting. So we understand that those are some of the variables. So for the most part, at least I know specifically for the last 2 years, anytime there's been a weather condition that hasn't allowed, schools are closed during the day, then we're not gonna have a meeting that night. So I believe we've tried to keep pretty cognizant of that.
And again, it doesn't count towards anyone's attendance. That would be like the official excused absence for everyone. In that kind of a situation, if you want to work with those. That is.
Because, I understand you probably had policies in the past and so forth. I just would have imagined that things have changed ever since COVID. You have people who have come down with RSV or whatever it is. You have so many different things that are now cropping up. And if someone is sick and doesn't want to expose anybody else or should not, because maybe their immune system is compromised, come out to a meeting, I don't understand how that person, you should be able to decide whether it's excused sick or whatever, as opposed to you just missed too many meetings. If it is that it's okay when you decide we don't meet quorum, and so we're not gonna have a meeting, if it's okay, then I'm not understanding, like, if I called and I said, listen, I really don't feel, I don't think I should come to expose anybody else. Why, where's the sick?
So I think the reasoning, and I was not there when the bylaws were being revised for attendance. But my reasoning is, how many people will use excused absences to not come to the meetings? And then if you don't meet quorum, when we get certain items, they have a deadline. We have literally 30 days to revise things. We don't get an extension in a lot of matters. So when board business needs to be conducted, people need to show up. And so I'm pretty sure the logic behind that was promise we're going to use excused absences and not come to the meeting.
Mm.
And then that would, that would hurt quorum eventually.
Just real quick, I know one of the conditions that we looked at when we made that decision on the last bylaws committee, right? Just till you're out, right? You just need a mental day, right? You don't have to tell anyone your medical history. You don't have to tell anyone, whatever reason you have for being out, you're out. It doesn't matter, right? You might need a mental day. You might need, for whatever reason, you just didn't make it to that meeting. The reason for this letter, right? If you have 3 absences in a row, we're gonna check with you, right? Are you okay? Are you in the hospital? Has anybody knocked on your door, right? Some people, we have elderly people, we have different people. I was in the hospital for 3 months. I mean, I disappeared, but I knew where I was at. So what happens is, the letter gives us the chance to communicate with you. Maybe your job position changed. Maybe now you're working nights. So maybe the committee you're on doesn't work, they change your schedule. So they might put you on a different committee where you won't have a work schedule issue. But that letter just creates the opportunity for communication. It's not saying you're off the board. It's not saying, if you don't answer, obviously you're gonna be off the board, but that just produces a conversation. It's not disciplinary in any way. It's just information.
One of the things that I ask a lot of people is to take a look at the bylaws, sit down and really read the bylaws when you get them. If you get any questions, you can always email the office, email me, contact any one of us. We've gone through the bylaws. Since I've been on the board 10 years, I can't even count how many times we've gone them over and over and over. And this has always been a point of contention because we try to be as clear as we possibly can. We try to be as fair as we possibly can. And it always comes back every couple of years, it comes right back. So with that being said, just to move the agenda along, we are going to create that ad hoc bylaw committee. These are going to be the points we're going to talk about. Everyone is going to have the time to look it over, and I'm going to have Carla pass them an email with the bylaws if you have them. We'll send them out to you and take a look at them. Whatever your concerns are, let us know before we meet in January so we can have a list of bullet points of what to look for and what to discuss. Because the bylaws take a lot of time. I'm gonna be honest with you, the ad hoc committee that may be for 1, 2, 3 months, but it does take a lot of time because we all want to be fair to everybody. And that is my recommendation to go home. Paula just told me it's on the website, look at the link, download it, take your time to read it. And if you have any questions, send them over to the office so that we have an idea of what to put in our agenda to discuss. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to move the agenda along and I'm going to move on to chair committee reports. We start with Barbara.
Good evening. I first would like to thank the staff for all the time to developing the tree lighting ceremony. They did a lot of work and she went very well. And of course, Carl. Everybody had a good time. Kids were excited, whatever. Our next board meeting will be on January 8th. Staying
that the Parks Department is sort of paying the system they use to plant trees, and then huge amount of requests throughout the city. And of course, they can't fulfill them all, coming up with a new system. So hopefully we will have some of the forest January.
Thank you. Yeah, Barbara, just one minor correction. Not all 311 tree related complaints, only new tree. Only the 311 complaints that request new trees. Those are the only ones that are changed. Every other complaint will stay the same, so if you would like, a tree to be trimmed. Maybe it's not trimmed, I'm not sure. Pruned, yeah. English. So if you would like a tree to be pruned, that's a different request. We just placed a complaint for, they would like to have their tree in front of the home assessed, so the tree has outgrown, the roots are breaking the sidewalk. So that, those complaints are still going to remain the same. It's only those complaints that have requested a new tree, those are the ones that they're changed. Everything else will remain the same, so you can continue to use the figure that you have already.
Okay, next, moving on to traffic and transportation, Edgar.
Good evening, everyone. We had, CDC come, they're basically starting to roll out phase 5, the Grand Concourse, which is basically from Fordham Road to 198th Street. You're gonna start seeing, they're gonna start having, informational circulars, what's gonna be happening on the concourse. So that should be starting in the next couple of months. And, next meeting is gonna be January 2nd. Anything else, just, check the minutes.
Michelle?
Mr. Hyde, we didn't this month, however, we are looking forward to having a virtual workshop on January 21. If possibility of this population health presenting in their community.
Thank you, Michelle. Moving on to transportation, Betty.
I think you hear me, right? We didn't meet, we'll be meeting January 7th. I do want to remind everyone who lives in a 1 or 2 family home and up to a 9-unit building, that your building is supposed to have trash within containers. You can use any size container at this point, whether you buy it, from Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever, or have whatever you're using, or you purchase one from the Department of Sanitation. And you can use these up until January of 2026. At that point, you'll need to purchase a very, a specific, DSNY trash bin, because supposedly they will then have a, retrofit the sanitation trucks to be able to lift the containers up, to put the garbage and trash into the truck. Let's see if that happens or not. But for the time being, at the very least, your building or your home should have a, trash bin. Right now, it's like the honeymoon period. I mean, there's a lot of places that's still putting out, plastic bags. I'm not talking about apartment buildings, I'm talking about 1 and 2 family homes and buildings up to 9 units, the smaller houses. Starting in January, they will go out and start issuing summonses if you fail to do so.
The ones that we're using now must latch.
Yes, and they must have a lid and close for
No bags.
yeah. And if you have more garbage than that particular bin, you need to have an extra bin. That's the rule. I think they're gonna have to change some of that because there are situations where people putting out carpets, other kinds of trash that cannot fit into a trash bin. So they'll have to be on the side.
Okay, it's just putting extra
Yeah,
garbage
it's
in
the
the
back. And commercial, businesses are supposed to have, containerized, they've been supposed to have done that for a while, and you still see violations. So come January, they're going to start issuing summonses for that. The larger buildings, they're still working on, options for buildings, whether it's going to be, something like almost like it looks like a truck, a dumpster, or container, or buildings where they have space to be able to put out large, sections. So that's still in the works.
Question, what happens if the people have to dispose of furniture or stuff like that?
That can go out. Yes, that's correct. There's furniture, large pieces of equipment like that, the concern is being able to put into the trash, so we don't have bags out in the street.
The rat prevention.
Yeah. And then if possible, those who can, please, compost, get a brown bin or any kind of bin where you can put your food waste. The same thing, it has to be a container that latches closed so that rats or raccoons cannot open them up. And they also will be, and you put those out on the same day that you put out your recyclables.
Okay, thank you, Betty. Moving on, Jean, budget?
Budget, we spoke about previously, we met and we, put together a motion that was read and signed off. And the rest will go out to all of those, who are missing meetings. And as was previously said, this is not saying you are not still a board member, we just need to know what's going on with you. And if there are any complications that need to be taken into, advisement. So that's all that really means. And then the bylaws committee, when they convene, will go over all the concerns that you guys just mentioned, and then we'll take a deeper dive into what needs to be adjusted.
Thank you, Jean. Education, Lily's is not here, but, they're gonna be meeting in February. As for housing, we had a, presentation from the New York City Independent Budget. They provided us with, information and data as to the housing initiatives that have happened, throughout New York City and how city subsidies have been provided to developers. We finally agreed at the end that we will create a report together with them as to the median income of the housing that's created in our district, so that we know exactly how much housing has been developed, in quite a couple of years. So we're hoping to work with them and have a report maybe until sometime in January or the latest February. Okay. With that being, that ends all the committee reports. We're going to move on to our list of elected officials. Is there anyone here from Congressman Gallardo? Is there anyone here from Congressman Virginia Orzagon? Is there anyone here from the mayor's office? I saw you there. Anyone from the public advocate's office? Anyone from the controller's office? Your neighbor? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Mayhew. I'm the Bronx Borough Director in the Office of the New York City Controller. I just have a couple of updates for everyone. The first one is that we released a report of ACS, or Administration of Children's Services, which basically determined whether ACS adequately monitors the safety of children in foster care. The audit found that their monitoring of the safety in foster care during the period reviewed, which was 2020 and to 2023, was generally adequate. The audit found that incidents of neglect and abuse have been trending downward in recent years, but that many children in foster care still suffer neglect and or abuse. And in the report, we also have recommendations to help ameliorate those issues for the children served. The second report is entitled Street Safety and Era of Micromobility. It basically outlines a strategic regulatory and infrastructure framework for e-bikes, mopeds, and e-scooters, all of which have grown in popularity in recent years, imposing safety and quality of life concerns for New Yorkers, as well know. The plan outlines, really calls for cutting off the supply of unsafe illegal vehicles, establishing a city administered licensing program, and enhancing accountability. Oh, that's it. Also, really quick, I know it was mentioned about the water main break. Our office does those claims. So if you know anyone who has any questions about those claims or how to file them, please let us know. And I have my card in the back. That's it.
That was a fun.
When you say file a claim to the city or their insurance or
So you can file.
FEMA, city?
So you can file a claim for the city. That's an option. I believe who was the agent, DP was stimulating their claims from the city. So if you want to file a claim for the city is low. You can do whatever else you want to do, but through the city is ours.
The QR code is in the front address.
Okay, so just to be clear, city, claims, through the controller's office. Okay, Alina?
Everyone, as mentioned, schools run for the mayor's community affairs, have comments to all. So I did just want to share, I know that EP, all of the city agents who were out there last night and today regarding the water being broke. So if you guys have any complaints right now, everybody's still being assessed. There were 330 homes without electric. Currently, as of right before 4 o'clock, when I just spoke to OME, they have 177 units that are still in need of getting their lights on. The gas was put off because obviously the water was flooding into those lines. So that has not been reinstated yet, but the water has been reinstated to everyone. So then now there were units that were ground level. So those units, we do have Red Crosses out there to assist anyone that had like a ground level unit that was affected. As far as their properties that have been damaged with the water, there is there's a form, but also a link that is used for the controller's office, which is a way to get reimbursement for anything that has been damaged in that particular incident, because it was caused by the city's water, which was the rain. In addition to that, I just want to let you guys know that I also have been in contact with, actually, the deputy mayor's office was also included in this, because we've had complaints about, the needle exchange van being parked in front of the library. I want to encourage you guys, like I always say, 311 is our friend. We want those complaints to come in, because right now, but when 7's upset that it's property. I think my kids in the library, I mean, I don't think one complaint, right? In addition, that's something that we will looking into. We are still working with the homeowners in Hope Place, because that's also an area that is highly, they have their own issues over there. And they're looking to get something built private, and the city is allowing them to do it, but I know that they're working with the community board, like this, funding for private fencing. The mayor is really excited because, I mean, while I never get to hear of it, there has been a lot of work that have been accomplished that the mayor is proud of. We've got, I think, over 1,300 legal smoke shops. There's been thousands of guns removed off the street. There, in addition to that, there has been thousands of illegal scooters, the ones that are not even off the street that the mayor so instead of they have been flushed. So it's not about someone being able to go back to the precinct and pick it up. No, there's no compromise. They are flushed. So we just want to encourage you to please continue to make those complaints, be the eyes and ears of the community that mayor also needs to help to make sure that the community is safe. Other than that, I'm staying to the end of the meeting. I always provide my card. Be safe and happy holidays.
Thank you, Alina.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Alina. Moving on to the Bronx Board President's Office, Kenny.
Bronx Pro President was there this morning. With Mayor Roberts, so the emergency management, the YPD, DEP, the wires, I want to thank all of the houses for their hard work. We're still fighting to people that are electricity and also, Mayor's office, any assistance that we there, our number is 718-590-3500, and the office is located in 123, and 851 Rock Concourse, and number is 317-213-0375, 207. With December's 5th, the borough president hosted a annual tree lighting extravaganza, went to Woodland and New York Plaza. Housing Davis Square handed out. On December 6th, the borough president hosted the World AIDS Day meeting at McKinney Hospital, where she was joined by Neil Richie NH. Gilead and Lincoln are speaking particularly to the high numbers of women of color who have spikes HIV infections. What's to be done to decrease the number of HIV cases and our sensitive patient testing
the measure, there's a lack of usage with pepper prep, as you know, pepper prep is to prevent HIV infection, also people within 72 hours of infection. So we're trying to get, a lot of, wrong information, disinformation online. So we want you to, contact us, contact the DOJ, get the right information. Last weekend, we hosted the Veterans Story Giveaway at Bronx Zoo. It was very successful. Anything else? Only a couple more seconds. Wednesday, December 18th, that's tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Winter Holiday Concert Series at Bronx Hall Rotunda, 51 Grand Concourse. Tomorrow. Hanukkah celebration menorah lighting, Thursday, December 26th, 30 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Bronx Hall. One Grand Concourse, we Hanukkah celebration, light menorahs, songs, and lots of different dreams. January 10th, join our free in-person baby wearing workshop hosted by Rosalie Ramirez. That's with the Bronx Helpline and Bronx President. Baby wearing workshop is to learn how the art of safely carrying your baby and explore the benefits of baby wearing with wraps, strings, and carriers. That's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. January 10th at the Bronx first floor. Finally, Savor the Bronx Restaurant Week, February 18th to February 23rd. I love the Bronx.com. Savor the Bronx Restaurant Week is a 6-day event to help restaurants attract customers while giving food lovers a chance to explore the food dining spots in the Bronx. Produced by the Borough President's Office of Bronx Tourism Council. Participating restaurants joined by community offer their prefix menu or meal discount. And on behalf of the recipients of our Bronx President, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, and Happy Great Tuesday.
Thank you.
We're not voting.
Who's the first one? You first.
Penny,
I'm not too sure. Look for the running that it's more about the mobile meal exchanges. So I guess I'm thinking more of a Lena.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
yeah, the mobile needle exchanges, so that would be more what about the.
Can I go back to Alina and ask her a question? Was that okay?
We just want to move forward. If you want to be in the session, Anita's usually around.
All right.
We'll have a chat. Okay, moving on, Bronx District Attorney's Office, Javon.
Thank you. Hello. Can everyone hear me? My name is Trevon Blondet. I'm in the DA's office with the Community Engagement Unit. Not much for me to report. We just donated 275 jackets to New York Cares last week. We also donated, I believe, 100 cans, perishable goods to Destination Tomorrow. So if anything, if you want to have the court tour scheduled, I know I spoke to Carla a couple months ago, scheduling a couple court tour for district managers in the Bronx. So that's available. Any questions for me? I'm just here to listen about any quarter life issues, criminal lives. Any questions for me? My phone number is 917 946 3438. I have cards if you need inside of them. Any questions? Yes.
Since we don't have the precinct here tonight, any little cautionary tips you have for us employees or any uptick in any particular time for residents?
So I know, sure, and I know the 4-3 area, I cover that board as well. I know, there are no gunshots, I'm sorry, 4-6, there were no gunshots fired in the month. There's a new initiative called, every block counts. And so, Inspector Schuler mentioned that there were no bullets flown in the district. I know there's a uptick in felony assaults. So people getting robbed, beat up, things like that. That's it, that. So basically, we can give you advice. just be careful, be wary about who's around you. Keep your purse close to you. Don't sleep in the trains. If you sleep in a train, sit in the middle of the car, not by the door. They snatch jewelry, headphones, especially those fancy Bluetooth headphones, things like that, earbuds, things like that. That's it. I mean, yeah. Yes.
There's a new administration in Washington. My question is the Bronx District Attorney's Office planning on offering full cooperation with immigration if they do raids in the Bronx? Does the Bronx District Attorney turn over people who are not documented?
No, we don't do that. But I'll give you my card. You can get more information. More questions, I'll give it to me and I'll get that to you. Yes.
No, this may not impact the Bronx, but what is happening with the recent rash of people being pushed onto the train tracks? Are we tracking that? Are we? Yeah, it happened in the Bronx, I think what's that area?
Cambridge, was it
No, that
Cambridge?
think was the other area.
Fordham Heights here.
Edenwald. I think it was on the 2 line.
Oh, Eden, that's north, like.
Yeah,
East.
yeah. So I'm wondering what's happening with that because I've been noticing that it seems to be happening on a regular basis that someone's being shoved onto the train tracks. Are we tracking it or what's happening? Have we determined that is because people have emotional issues and what's happening with them?
So I can't answer that question. I'm not sure how the numbers look from NYPD as opposed to our office, but we can talk about those numbers. If it's something we should look at, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So into that, we can, certify the traffic and transportation and have a TA traffic, come and give us that. For the 52nd precinct meeting is this Thursday.
Yeah.
So that information will be related in as well if you can attend.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Is there anyone here from Senator Gustavo Rivera? Anyone here from Senator Robert Jackson's office? Assembly Member George Alvarez's office? Assembly Member Jeffrey Dinowitz's office? Assembly Member John Zakara Jr.'s office? Assembly Member Gadavia's office? Hi, come on up, Gabrielle.
My name is Gabriella. I'm the Director of Consumer Services at County's office. And I just have a couple of updates. Can I hear you?
Yeah.
We posted on certification and distributed over 1,000 services and vouchers to residents. So all of our success. If we posted our toy giveaway is Thursday, December 19th at 3 p.m. the Leadership Community Center. We have some flyers on stakeholder Spanish, and first sign. The Assembly member participated in a press conference with Mayor Adams, Councilmember Sanchez, and 46 precincts to announce the Every Block Towns initiative. The initiative will focus on specific blocks on the 46 precinct and increase resources and support to residents. We are also getting ready for the upcoming legislative session starting on January 8th. So the Assembly member will be involved in the end of the day in the next month. We are always looking to ensure priorities of our district are reflected in our legislation. So we'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts. Also, our office will be closed starting this coming December 23rd to January 6th. If you are experiencing an emergency, you can email us at our2000@tapia.com. The phone number is 718-336-6909. My address is 2175.
Any questions, Gabriella? Thank you, Gabriella. Welcome aboard. Okay, next we have, Councilmember George. Come on, George.
Good evening. Hello. Hello. Yes. Hello, Senator.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is George Cook. My name is George Cook. I'm from Councilmember Oswald Felicia's office. My office is located at 573 East Fordham Road. Entrance is on Huffman Street. The hours is 10 to 5, Monday to Thursday. Fridays we're remote, but we still all pick up your calls. Also, we have an update, oh, an event happening. So we have an annual toy giveaway happening this Thursday at Fordham University. The address would be 440 East Fordham Road. Entrance will be on entrance would be on 191 Bathgate Avenue. It's gonna be in McShane Student Center, and it will be from 4 to 6 p.m. This Thursday. Bring your kids, get a gift. And I believe Santa might be there too. Also, there's another toy giveaway that we're gonna be doing with Nino Calidad Foundation. That toy giveaway will be happening December 23rd from 2 to 4 p.m. The address is 2467 Bathgate Avenue. Must bring your kids. Sorry, grandmas, you can't be saying, hey, we're giving you a present when the kids is with their moms. Bring the kids. You have a fun time. Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year, everyone. And don't forget, call our office if you have an issue. And our telephone number is 718-842-8100. I'm George, the council member of Fleet's office. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, George. Okay, last but not least, Councilmember Pina Sanchez. Power.
She complimented
Your Paula.
Question, yeah. Any update on the Beach Armory? Is it still planning to come out in mid-January?
I have no, but I need to follow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paula.
Since we're gonna be starting a new year, we send out just a basic letter saying, dear so-and-so, we just want to let you know that Community Board 7 meets on the 6th Sunday of every month. Here are the listed dates. Please call our number.
We do have a blast that goes out on social media, and we do have a blast that goes out to the email for every committee meeting.
No, but I mean, just in general. At the beginning of the year, just a general saying, and list the dates. Specifically, not month by month, not send one out every month, but just start a general.
I understand what you're saying. Just this year, I met with each one of the chairs to look at the upcoming year, to provide dates, just so we can request spaces. Before that, it was month by month. So, and even to this day, the executive will look at the calendar before they meet, and then they will clear it. So it's really on a month by month basis. We are trying,
Janet.
the general board meetings generally are always on the fourth,
Right, but just send out saying, hi, we're starting the new year. We just want to give you these basic dates. Please feel free to call our office, for exact locations. Because to be honest, there are some people there who do not, I don't think they know we exist.
no, so yes. Awareness around community boards is definitely something that we strive to add.
And part of it is, and I'm sorry, I'm a paper person, I'll be honest. But does a piece of paper to an office get more gets more response than social media? I don't know.
No, it does not. We move to the 21st century.
I'm just asking.
And so the way things have been moving in the city of New York, it's all data driven, it's all data collected. As much as we want to keep things with the paper situation and mailing things, but taking it down, unfortunately, budget wise, those things have been cut out as time has gone on because everybody has this. So because everybody has a smart for the most part, and if we don't, and if we get to know about it, we will try to accommodate. This is something that Carla and Christiana and Stephen have strived to do. We send out blasts all the time. We do the newsletters, we do the emails, constant emails like that. And on top of everything else, Christiana has taken, so she came on board, calling each board member. I get a phone, I'm a chair, and I get a phone call.
But I'm not saying us, but I'm saying our elected officials.
I'm getting told.
Okay.
Elected officials get the same amount of notifications that we do when we have a letter that goes out, have a motion that goes out. They get CC'd in everything that we do. If they decide not to show up to our meeting, give face in our meeting, that is us as voters, as residents, to call them out and tell them, you need to come out and give us space and tell us what's going on in the job that you're doing for us. Just as much as we come out and we take out our time to do the things that we do at the job that we do, we have the same option to call our elected officials. I say this all the time. I said it at the tree lighting, at every meeting, every general meeting that we have. Our elected officials are elected by us to do a job for us, as residents of New York City. So we do have complaints, we let them know. Things that come from the board, they are CC'd on. And with that being said, we strive to do the best that we possibly can because we are on the lowest of the top. With that list, we are the very bottom. We don't get that much from the city. And what we try to do, we try to do the very best that we can for our community. So, as you mentioned, we'll read out to your elected officials.
And all to your point, I did try, hindsight, try new things. I did put together, it was almost a one pager and it had all the little months that we need. And I tried to code it in a way where a star is our general board meeting. So I star all the little squares, but then when I finished, it just didn't look clear. So that's why it wasn't shared. So sometimes you have a great idea, and you think it's going to look great, but it really, on paper, it doesn't transcribe the same way because we have so many meetings. There's no way to, and then I thought about color coding the sheet, but then I thought maybe someone printed it in black and white, and then that's out the window.
But I think part of it is you need to say, this is what you're doing, because when you read that and they don't show up, it looks like we haven't tried. And but
We have
when you
tried.
say something like that,
Yeah.
you can say, hey, we tried, they ignored us.
And I think it's not something that we get ignored. I think it's just we're in December. There's a lot happening I did hear, I'm not gonna mention what community boards, but I did hear that some community boards canceled their December meeting. Because attendance is usually very low during the holidays, we struggle during November and December. That's why we switched our meetings a week. So we're meeting on the third week as opposed to the fourth. And as we've heard, a lot of our elected officials' offices are already closed. A lot of people are dealing with the emergency that's happening on Webster. So there's just so much happening that whenever our elected official is not here or they don't send a representative, it's because
No,
they have something going on.
most of ours do a really good job. I'm just saying, there are some who they don't exist in my mind because I've never seen them or their staff here.
But that's not because they don't get notifications.
And
Notifications. We even got a holler in our community at Tracy Towers. I get notifications from the office constantly. Everything that they send out, along with the elected officials, when they send me stuff also, I make sure that all of our community people get the information. But it's on us to boost them to say, why aren't you coming to the meetings? That's what I personally do when I want to see them at my meetings. I send them notifications. I want to see your faces. They are put into these offices, as the chair said, by us. It behooves us to remind them that they have to attend to our issues. And then the other thing is location. We don't have as many locations as we used to have meetings on a consistent basis at that particular place. So I know the office is constantly looking for places to have meetings at. So COVID changed the world.
Yeah.
And we have to celebrate the new situations.
Generally have, what we do, trying to get officials, try to get agencies to come. We're engaged with you for all this after COVID. So it is a really, really difficult thing to put together. And I met Carla, Stevens, Christiana all the time because they're the ones going to work in the back. I'm at my regular job, my 9 to 5, and I get phone calls, text messages, and I deal with many things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Because it's internally in the back, and we do work very hard, especially this team works very hard to get us to where we are. With that being said, I just want to wish everybody, mostly,
In the main membership.
yeah. You, relevant. Going over it on a real.
Someone.
Not all the time. Sometimes they build as of right. And when a developer builds something as of right, they do not have to notify the community board or the elected officials, they just build it. As long as they stay within the zoning specific to that location.
They're not, they're going, not clear. It's certainly not. And everybody believes that it's over. The company, we all know who's what company. Partially. Cities open, and now. Program, the meeting with not quite problem because they have nothing. Exactly. We all want to bring the people. Well, here's the thing with the Army, the memory is a project that has been under the preview of council member Melina Sanchez's office. As of right now, the only thing we know is that the proposals that went for the group are being looked at. We don't know right now who's going to be the person in charge of the farm review revamping. We do know that there was a big push for the community to have a say so. We don't have over detail yet, and I believe that's gonna come out of the council member for the new year. The second thing, when a builder builds that's right, as long as they follow the zoning and the laws or they don't have to go to the community, they can go back and learn. However, the Department of Building does send, when they file permit, they do send a notification to the Bronxborough President's Office, and the Bronxborough President's Office lets us know that permits have been filed for that particular address. That's when we kind of know something is happening and we get a little bit more information. But up until now, that's just happened, it's closed down. We don't know who comes next until those permits are filed. So once the permits are filed, there's also public record. There is a website that you can follow, the DOB now, and you can find that information. You can just put the address, the street address if you know it, and that information will come. That's your.
And we have that information in our newsletter as well.
Article site, two family houses together on Preston 198, where you're speaking about all around there are being purchased and this for housing for housing centers, Chelsea residents, and a lot of residents are complaining in all the community boards, because it's not for families and singles, affordable housing, residents, it's for other people from Australia, and everything.
And just so you know, there's a lot of our homes that are being sold and redeveloped. I do know a couple of homeowners in the district who are constantly being sent letters, ready to sell, ready to sell. So then at some point, for the right price, these homes get. And so then what happens is they get developed into, some of them are like extremely tiny buildings, but they're still really high as they can be. But a lot of it is as of right, it's just what your IRS said. A lot of this information is also in our monthly newsletter, not monthly, weekly, never mind. So Stephen is the person that is in charge of our newsletter. He puts it together. There's a lot of information there on what construction is happening in the district, what street closures are happening, what are those street closures for? And that tells you a little bit of background into what's happening on a certain street.
Okay, Edgar, down to moving. Give me 1 second, I just want to give you an update.
I reached out to the sergeant. Just so everybody knows, I reached out to the sergeant from TV11, to make sure that he's coming to our meeting in January. We try to, keep in touch. And like next week is Christmas, next week is New Year. So I figured I'd jump, just because it's January is almost tomorrow. But he said that he'll be at our traffic transportation meeting, barring any emergencies or anything tragic happening that day. They should be there, and also depending on vacations, but he says they still haven't straightened out next year's vacations. But he said that they also are gonna be at the precinct council meeting this Thursday.
Toby?
So I wanted, you're using the term as of right. Can you quickly explain exactly what does that mean?
Self-finance.
As of right means self-finance, they are not using any city or state stuff. They're not using that. And Sandra, go ahead.
As of right, it's a zoning related to zoning only, not financing. If we've got whatever the zoning dictates on that part, they do it within those guidelines, that's as of right. If they want to go a little higher, take up a little more floor area, they have to come to the community board, they have to go for a zoning change. That's when they have to weigh in. But if it's their right to build, or 5 stories, 6 stories, or they have.
And I do know that all of you, when you became new board members, we went to that orientation. The Department of City Planning has that workshop on land use.
Yes.
That's where they touched on that, right? So like zoning 1, 2, 3, 6. But as a refresher, we can always invite DCP to come back and just give us a refresher. Everyone can use a refresher. I myself can get a refresher as well. So, we can certainly invite them, especially as new board members are coming on board next year. So we'll have that refresher first, so everyone can get a deeper understanding when we mean as of right, or when they have to go through the user. Yeah. And in regards to the Kingsbridge Armory, I have emailed them to get an update as soon as that update comes. Just so you know, the community board will have a process, we will have a public hearing. So you will have a lot of chances to give your opinion about 3 or 4 before the community board votes on whether or not they support.
We may,
But
Paola? Just like council members Sanchez know that we're gearing up to know the update of the Kingsbridge Armory over the new year, and congratulations to her on having her second baby.
She does.
Okay, with that being said, our next general board meeting will be January 28th, 2025. Location to be determined, so we already have it.
Yeah.
About the-
Yeah.
But it is going to be very, what is in the gymnasium. That's work. Next general board meeting will be from January 2025. With that being said, can I get a motion to close? In favor?